Hello everyone and welcome to episode number 200 of The Walk. My name's Gareth, I'm joined once again by my mate Phil and we're in the Derbyshire town of Whaley Bridge, or just on the outskirts of the Derbyshire town of Whaley Bridge. We're here to look at the remains of what was the Cromford and High Peak Railway. Now that was opened after an Act of Parliament in 1825, 200 years ago, hence the reason for it. Lots of remains to find. We've also, because you know what I'm like, a bit of a fly in a greenhouse, we've got something else that dates all the way back to the 800s. Okay, so usual drill, let's get Google Maps up. This is where we are now. We're basically in a kids' play area. Luckily there's no kids about. And we are at what was the start of the incline, Shallcross incline that went all the way down into Whaley Bridge. What we're going to do is we're going to quickly just skirt off this and go and have a look at this amazing piece of ancient history. And then we're going to follow the incline all the way down until we get to Whaley Bridge, where there's an absolute bucket ton of remains. So Phil, kids' play area. Not why we're here.
No, we're here because just there is, well, not a lot really, but actually it is significant because that was the reservoir that fed the engine house, which is located, or was located, just behind that clump of trees there at the top of the incline.
Okay, so here you've got an engine house, no remains unfortunately, and the incline goes all the way down into Whaley Bridge. So on the other side of that, you've got a colliery as well.
A very early victim. I presume it could have supplied coal for this engine house, really, unless it was transported along the Cromford High Peak when it was in its prime. You can only speculate.
Yeah, but the water's coming out of there.
Yep.
Now this section of the Cromford and High Peak opened in 1832. So it took a good few years to build. Unbelievable infrastructure, unbelievable engineering. But actually it went really early. So it was gone by 1896. And so in terms of getting photos of this area, it's raining on me now, in terms of getting photos of the incline and stuff, it's going to be a bit of an artist's impression and an old map job. So Shallcross incline, which is behind us, is called Shallcross incline because it's in Shallcross. And Shallcross is called Shallcross because of the Shallcross. Say that 10 times quickly.
What is a Shallcross?
Well, it dates all the way back, I'm just going to walk into it now, from the 600s. Now it don't look like much, and earlier I said 800s, don't worry, I haven't made a mistake. The original Shallcross was put here in the 600s, but it was wood, and so it either rotted or was taken away and used as firewood, I don't know. This was put here in 832, and it was much bigger, had a big cross on it, hence the name. So this was here 1,000 years before the railway we were about to walk. It's pretty cool.
Yep, shall we cross the road?
Oh, here we go. Another thing about the Shallcross, which is amazing to me at least, 832. So that's basically 100 years before England even existed, Phil.
Yep, so what was it called then? Anglia?
This area was Daneland, actually,
wow.
So it was actually the Danes that put that up. Unbelievable history, and it's just sat there at the edge of the village. Random, yeah, but great. Nothing to do with the railway, but like I said at the start, I am a bit of a fly in a greenhouse when it comes to stuff like that. So we're going to leave Shallcross behind, the civilization of Shallcross, and we're kind of going to get a bit countryside. Now that went off into Shallcross Hall. This, as you can see, is the incline greenway, but it's not completely accurate, is it, Phil?
Not yet.
Not yet, okay. So this is basically going alongside what was the incline. And as you can see, down Whaley Bridge, I mean, it's a long way down, isn't it? So it's hella steep. Now what have we got? Oh, that looks interesting. These are artist's impressions then, aren't they?
It doesn't look like a picture, is it? Some sort of monocle, what does it say? It's impression,
Yeah.
impression.
So where we were before, and Phil was obviously saying in the woods and the reservoir, that looks like a reservoir. So this is the kids' play area then, basically, where we were, yeah.
Yeah.
There's another image of it, probably from here, I'd say, actually.
Not far down,
No, so the incline's going up like that, because obviously we've just had a bit of a stomp round, and you'd be able to see that in the distance. Now, oh, hang on. Oh, there you go, look.
No, that's very interesting.
Look at that. That's the gradient of the Cromford and High Peak Railway. That is unbelievable.
So if you ever biked this, which you can't do all of it, of course, but even to get from there to where eventually it's got some serious bike rides up there.
Well, I think the highest point is around here, isn't it? Which is well over 1,000 feet.
Yeah.
Unbelievable, really. Fortunately, we're walking down. That said, we're parked at the bottom, aren't we, Phil? So we've already had to walk up. And Phil was making the point that a lot of these gardens, of course, are sat on the track bed, and you'd have loved to put a bit of rail on there, wouldn't you?
Well, there's a bit down here that I would have. Well, you'll see in a minute that it deserves to have a piece of track put there as a commemorative sort of, signifier. Is that the word?
Yeah. Well, maybe if we've got some scrap rail, we could just leave it there as a gift.
Yeah.
Here we go, from me to you. This is the original wall, then, isn't it, for the railway? Yeah, it is. So the railway would be in there, and you can see there. This is where, for the sake of the path, they've cut through it. But there you go. So that's the original incline.
And that's where I'd put a piece of track.
Right there, bosh. So we're going to stomp. I mean, just look at that. You can see in the distance. We're going to stomp that all the way down. So the Cromford and High Peak Railway is an absolute masterpiece of engineering. It's got fly flying to me here then. We've done a couple of videos there before, haven't we? So what I'll do is I'll put a link, because one of them was a big massive cycle down, all the way down.
Oh, yeah.
A big chunk of it down to Middleton Top. So I'll put those links, of course, in the summary. Now basically, this was built to connect the Cromford Canal down at Cromford Wharf all the way up to the Peak Forest Canal at Whaley Bridge, which is where we're going to end today's walk. Now what it was doing was basically taking all the coal out of the Derbyshire, Nottinghamshire coalfield, so it could power the mills all the way up here and up into Manchester, and in reverse, the famous textile industry of the northwest was coming back down into Derbyshire, Nottinghamshire, then off all the way down into London. What they wanted to do was build a canal to connect the two, but best of luck in the Peak District. That's not going to fly. And so this railway was built, and as you saw on that little diagram we looked at earlier, it was incline after incline after incline, which of course with water isn't going to fly. Now, this line was mainly goods, but it started out as an idea of a passenger railway as well. But unfortunately, because of the inclines, one, it wasn't very comfortable, and two, there were quite a few deaths, Phil.
Well, to be honest with you, they were the state of the open carriages and one thing and another back then. I wouldn't really fancy a ride of it. Well, I would, of course, now, because we'd get excited about it, but at the time I'd be no way, mate.
No, I was going to say, we can't say that when we clamber down into lead mines like a pair of Woolies.
Scared of trains as well then.
They were.
So what a journey that would have been for people,
Yeah. As I said earlier, this section was gone by the end of the 19th century. The other sections further up towards Cromford, actually lasted into the 1960s, and there is some amazing footage here just after it had closed, actually, where people are taken on a ride, and as you can see, they're in the back of the wagons there. Does not look comfortable. Now this feels like it's going on, but it's really comfortable underfoot.
Unless you walk over what some horses have left behind. Apart from that, it's pretty decent.
Yeah, I mean, that's soft underfoot as well, I suppose, but it's actually rubber.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's got rubber in there as well as the stone, so it's almost got like a bit of a spring to it. So back to the railway. Phil corrected me earlier, because I said we're going to go down an incline, didn't I? Down into Whaley Bridge, and that would give you, the viewer, the illusion that it's one big incline. Now this one is actually going down to Shallcross Yard, which actually remained open into the 1950s, so there's quite a lot of footage of that, which is amazing. Yeah. But there's another incline later on into Whaley Bridge.
Yeah, there's a short one. This is the Big Daddy-O, which is definitely visually brilliant, to be honest. The other ones, when you've been down all these inclines and you get to that one, you think, is that it? It's not very big at all, but in itself, it had a unique operation to, get the goods down, and it's still a spectacle.
because all the way up until its closure, that incline in the 1960s, I think it was a real late go. That was actually run by horses, which the Cromford and High Peak Railway was all horses originally, and obviously in the end it became locomotives. You also told me that the rubber in these is apparently made of condoms as well.
Well, I can't say it's true for sure, but that's what one or two people have a joke or say, and maybe it's true. Who knows?
Maybe it's true. So we've reached the bottom of the Shallcross incline. It just looks like a cycle path, doesn't it, basically? But I mean, it's quite steep. This was a massive yard. You wouldn't know, would you? It's amazing, really.
No, I mean, from here, you would think, what happened in the old days? When it gets here, we'll show you in a minute.
Yeah. One of the beautiful things about this, actually, it's not even just this section of the Cromford and High Peak Railway, because a lot of it is part of the cycle network now, and they have these wonderful notice boards. Now this tunnel and stuff we're going to come to in a bit, which is amazing, but this is the yard as it was. This is the yard. This is a gasworks. There's remains in here. We're going to get to them shortly. Now where we are now is basically about there, isn't it? Just round the corner, pretty much, yeah. So we're going to see all this in a section. Now, or in a second rather. Now if I come round here, you pointed this out earlier, Phil, didn't you? And I thought, what's he pointing at? Now it don't look like much. Again, we're in a nice sort of housing estate.
Would you like to tell people your inaccurate observations of what it was earlier?
I thought maybe a signal post at first, and then I thought maybe a height restriction, but in fact it's the base of a crane, we believe at this point.
Crane arm, yep.
Crane arm. Yeah, which would make sense because obviously wagons are coming down the incline. This is opening up into a massive yard of sidings. They would need a crane to move goods back and forth. So walking through the housing estate now, we're just on a road. I can hear an ice cream van actually. That tempt you?
Oh, not really.
No, neither. But eventually, well, I say eventually, now we're about to get back on what was the track bed, and there's a significant wall that shows up in photos, doesn't it, Phil? This one here.
Yeah, that's the original gasworks retaining wall, or the border wall, if you like, to the railway going past it, yeah. And I believe here,
see, there's
some
something.
gasometers somewhere here, and I think there was unloading coal somewhere around here, and it was going into the former gasworks buildings, which is just over the other side there.
Got you. So yeah, when you look at old photos, this wall is as clear as day. The track bed's here. As I said a second ago, we get to tunnels and bridges and all sorts in a bit. But these, I mean, that's an old building, isn't it?
Yeah, it looks like it's an amenities type looking building, isn't it? So it probably is an original structure from the gasworks.
Yeah.
For a guess.
See, as I understand it with gasworks and stuff, don't they have to treat the ground? Like, doesn't it, like, I'm sure they do, they have to do something. But that's old, that's the cobbled entrance, isn't it?
It looks a bit like a water, so I presume if there were gasworks, there would have been boilers of some description in there, because the coal would have been coming to it, so that might explain why my hunch is that looks like some kind of water structure.
Now we're going to join up in a minute with the Midland Railway, the active railway. Now that plays a significant role in the demise of the Cromford and High Peak, obviously, because it basically replaces it. And look at that, we've got some narrow gauge rail, Phil.
Yeah. And you're going to ask me what I think it is, aren't you?
Well, I imagine it's something to do with the gasworks, isn't it?
Yeah, either that or the guy who owns it now is a railway enthusiast, but I don't think so. I think that would have been perhaps where internal tubs could have been moving coal or things around to operate the gasworks, for a guess.
Yeah, that's what I'd go with as well. Absolutely. Look at that. It would make sense if it's coming around here. Maybe there's some kind of loading area here. Maybe they're chucking stuff over the side there directly into it. I mean, it's there for a reason, isn't it?
Yep.
For sure. Now this wall again shows up in old pictures. It's original, you know, this was the pathway. Hang on. Are they just walking on the railway line then? They can't be.
No.
Or are they coming across here? Sorry, mate.
It fanned out here, didn't it, from 1 or 2 tracks into 6, so the path was kept to the side.
Got you. Okay.
But would have been a crossing point of some sort.
Yeah, it would have been, and we've got this as well. So there's the Cromford and High Peak Railway, and that is what the original track was like actually when this was built. You've spotted another line there.
I think there's a couple sort of knocking about around this building.
Yeah, there's another line, and these are definitely to do with the gas work. That must have been one hell of a storm if that's rocked up here.
Terrible.
But yeah, you can see more narrow gauge rail. But we've come off the track bed now, so as Phil said a second ago, he said, should we go back in time, as people would have done?
Walking to work along this path here, definitely.
Beautiful path, you'd have had trains flying past, or maybe not flying.
I don't know about flying.
Trundling. You got the River Goit as well.
Maybe that water level used to be a lot higher, and that one day...
Maybe it
it's
did.
better than your theory, anyway.
Yeah, maybe. Oh mate, right. So we're coming up to something called Chapel Street Bridge. I don't think it's a bridge, and neither does Phil. In our sort of is it a bridge or a tunnel game, I think we're both in tunnel land with this one.
Yeah, I reckon.
Now this is great for old images, because you can see the building where that horse box has just gone past. It's quite distinctive looking at it with the 4 windows. Here, there's a building, isn't there?
There was some kind of workman's hut and quite a large chimney. If you compare the size of the building to the chimney, it was very tall. I guess it was to get the smoke out of this cutting, possibly. Who knows?
Now there is a photo of a steam engine, a massive steam engine coming out of that, which I've got to say, when I saw it, I was like, that doesn't make much sense for the Cromford and High Peak Railway. But it's nothing to do with that, is it really?
Well, there might be an explanation for it. I don't know if Whaley Bridge had an engine shed or whether the local trip into this yard was done from a Buxton loco, but obviously whatever the spare loco that day to do the Shallcross trip, they might just have to throw that one out. Yeah. Because something were knackered or something, you know.
So when you say the Shallcross trip, basically the Midland Railway that comes through Whaley Bridge now replaced the Cromford and High Peak, basically. Yeah. Cromford and High Peak dies in this area in 1896. But they retained this bit. Yeah, because they made a short spur up onto the Midland line, so it was accessible for the local trip coming down here still, which I guess was daily. Now that trip would have been basically for coal, wouldn't it? Essentially, yeah. Because Shallcross Colliery was an early casualty, but at the time the Midland Railway was built, it was still in action. So maybe they would have been shifting the coal out. Now, as you can hear, my voice is going. It's more evidence this is a tunnel, isn't it? No, that's it. I'm not having this bridge nonsense if your voice is echoing back at you. You can hear, look how long we're in it. We're not at the end yet. We're nearly at the end. Start walking slower. Slow-mo. No, I won't really. It's definitely a tunnel. But it's a beautiful structure, isn't it? I love tunnels, Phil. You were saying to me on the walk up the incline, you've not gone off tunnels, but you're more of an incline man now, aren't you? Yeah, I'm more inclined towards an incline. Sorry about that. But yeah, I don't know what it is about them. Yeah, no, they're cool. I like them as well. But I do like a tunnel. And I do like blue brick as well. I like these you know, I wonder what that's about though, because that's Cromford and High Peak looking vibe. That's Midland Railway come later looking vibe, so I wonder what that's about. Maybe a collapse, Phil, to be fair. Because that's a clean snap either side, isn't it? That's probably come down. So we're coming up now almost to the point where it would have joined the Midland Railway and originally gone underneath the Midland Railway. This is quite a crossing. Now there's entrance to someone's house. These are serious crossing gates, Phil.
I know that house is. That might have been a field access in the old days for all we know, that one.
Yeah, true. And again, the same the other side. Would this have been single line or double line here? Well, a single line under the tunnel, isn't it, to be fair?
Yeah, I think it wouldn't fit too along this section.
No. But there's obviously a crossing here, so again, I'll try and find some photos or if there's an old map that shows, because it's quite interesting. If you live there, you've got to come out onto an active railway line.
It's bizarre, that is. How have they done that?
Because they're old. I mean, look at the gates, the gate posts. That's hella old.
Well, there wasn't many express trains coming past, was there? There wasn't many cars either then.
True. So. There also wasn't health and safety back then either, was it? To be fair. That's something that you see quite a lot in our explores, isn't it? Is basically the lack of health and safety. Ooh, now, I'm not one for a nanny state, like far from it, but some of the stuff is like, that's mad. Now, the railway would have gone at the back of these houses. Oh, mate, I'd love to have a house that backed onto a railway, especially one with steam trains. That's the Midland Railway is up there, isn't it? It's in a cutting, but in there, and that's a bridge over it. So we're going to, come together with it in a minute. Now the trains went up onto the Midland line, didn't they? And then beyond that it becomes horses.
Yeah, in a minute you'll see where it dived under a bridge to the right underneath.
Oh, we've got a train.
Sprinter, it is a sprinter, yeah.
It is, boo.
And this line cleverly just rose straight up a bit of an incline, not a horse drawn incline or engine, but just, yeah, they'd be powerful enough to get down, wouldn't they? There's just a gentle drop that takes you up onto that line there, and that was the access point for the traffic in later years coming over to Shallcross Yard. And they used to leave the trucks just up here for the ponies to pick them up and take them into the yard, which we can go into in a minute when we get up there.
I'll do my best to find images and find you know, any pictorial evidence or video evidence to kind of try and bring it to life. Although, nailed it. This is what I love about this. Well done to these guys, because there's loads going off. So that there is the railway that's up there,
Yeah.
and that's a coal wagon about to go under. So that would explain why they had to use horses, because an engine's not getting underneath that, is it?
That's a very good representation of the
height.
You just couldn't get under with the loco.
Because they've even had to flatten out the coal.
Yeah, but if you look at that, that does. Oh yeah, look, that's got
a wagon in it.
Truck there, because if that wasn't, you'd think, oh, you'd easy get under there, but you would not. Look at that, that is low.
Yeah. So there's remains of that as well, which we'll see shortly. And there you go. Oh, that's a great one.
That's brilliant.
So that is that view. So I put that image over the top of it there. That is literally what we're looking at there. There's this, obviously a height restriction to show. It's going off there, and that's what we're going to follow, but unfortunately that's all filled in, so we're going to have to skirt around and get to the other side. It is incredible, like when we do these railway walks. I mean, I love railways, so I love the railway walks. But you basically just look and you see stuff like this. It's basically just some trees and whatever, and then you see an image like that, and it's unrecognisable, isn't it?
Well, if we
how it would have been.
If we came here with a train down, we'd think, okay, that definitely went over there, but some people wouldn't have a clue.
This is an amazing clue. So we've got to come off there, but that's where the railway would have gone, joined up with the main line. Bosh.
Well, I've got an issue with that.
Go on, it's kicking off.
Because if that bridge, which we've already seen, was not that high, that looks a lot higher.
I think that which is bent shouldn't be. That's straight, and it's got a thing hanging off of it, which is the actual height restriction would be
like
below it.
Yeah. Something on it, yeah, dangling.
Yeah. So then the line skirts underneath, and there you go. You can see a bit of stonework there. Look, that's part of that bridge that you can see from the photo, and it goes bosh through there, which obviously we can't do. So annoyingly, we're gonna have to go off round.
Yeah.
And it's just started raining again. Which is less than ideal, because it's been like this all the whole time we've been sort of stomping. We've had to, you know, jump in underneath a tree for a bit and then jump back out again, but hopefully it'll blow over. So we're on the other side of the line there. It's a beautiful piece of Victorian architecture. Look at that. That's going off down into Whaley Bridge. We are going to join the Cromford and High Peak, which is up there, which basically means just sort of walking through a bit of an industrial unit, up some steps, and then bosh. So this is the track bed. The other side of those units is the Midland line. It went through and it came out, see where we just were. Now it's taken up by a road. You would not know, would you, Phil?
No.
Even to our spidey senses, this is just a road, but this is not. This is the Cromford and High Peak Railway. There are lots of remains shortly. I love the Cromford and High Peak Railway. It's one of the first ever railways as well, isn't it? Ever built. Like, amazing. Like, the engineering and stuff was incredible. Let's get across this road. Now, when it was commissioned to be built and the Act of Parliament went through in 1825, they basically said railway or tramway. They were kind of either or, because they didn't think it would be a full standard gauge line. In fact, it wasn't meant to be. Oh, here we go. What's going off here then, Phil? Some of that?
Yeah, they just bunged an old switch point there, haven't they? Made a decorative thing. They could have put, for people who don't know what it is, it might have been helpful, because people will be walking by and say, what is it? Well, we kind of worked it out. It's just an old point changer. Yeah. Just the handle's missing off there, look.
Yeah, well, the council, the traffic warden's been out at it as well, look. Now here would have been a crossing, of course. Now, when we were walking along here to get to the start, I said to Phil, oh, was this a level crossing, do you reckon? And he went, well, we didn't do level crossings back then.
I don't think there'd have been called level crossings really in them days, would they? Because there'd probably not even a gate on it. There'd been nothing. There'd just been a couple of boards across, and it would be up to the, well, it'd be a pony, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It would be the young boy or whoever was helping to stop. Well, what traffic would they have been?
It's a really good point, because this is active, this section, from 1832 until 1896. and then it just becomes pony power then. So yeah, you know, a pony pulling a couple of wagons.
You'd know it will come in, I think. I don't need a warning.
Yeah. Now, evidence of it being ponies is what we're about to come up to, because there was a horse gin. They're always drunk, aren't they? As it came round, they had sometimes I think they were using counterbalancing, weren't they, on the incline and that sort of stuff. They had chains, which the rest of the line had done away with by that point. They'd gone to rope and all that kind of stuff, and they were still using the original chains, like the kind of ones that you find like in boating, basically, on those old massive girt ships. And this is it.
I'm not sure the mechanisms of it, and I don't think I've ever seen a picture of what actually cracked off here, but like you said, an horse would have been bored to death all day.
Just walking, and you can see.
Not all day. He's not driving a pump, are they? They just.
No, he'd have got 15 minutes for lunch. There's you can see the circle of it, and that is basically it, a horse just walking with a chain attached to itself, which is pulling it out of there, and tightening it. It comes out, and you'll see in a second. We'll come to it. There's 2 other chain exits there that control the incline. This would have been hella noisy, Phil.
But change it would have been really noisy, yeah. If it were going at night and you were in bed on these houses, which are really close to the track bed, you know what a chain's like, rubbing it, it'd be really noisy.
It really would, yeah. And as you can see, you know, past the lady with the dogs, it's a real short incline, but then goes right into where all the action was at the Whaley Bridge basin. Now, what's going on here, Phil? We're trying to work out why they've put these stones on top.
Yeah.
You're thinking maybe because there's holes underneath and it's to stop you rolling an ankle.
I'm sure this is where the chains came out, one for each side, and they'd had pulley wheels on both sides, so with it...
Oh, jeez Louise!
Jesus Christ.
Oh, mate. I think you've just made the video, to be honest. Oh, mate, that terrified me.
I think you saw me jump there. That's 2 dog incidents in 2 days I've had now.
Yeah.
Well, that was nothing. Anyway, yeah, so back to this. So yeah, this would have been where the chains would have come out on a pulley wheel, and for some reason, I suppose for decorative reasons, they've just put like a capping stone over the top. I don't know if it helped to do with health and safety, because they could have put a piece of wood over it. They probably did it to make it look, you know, in the piece, get a bit of a nice bit of stone on it. But yeah, 2 tracks, 2 pulleys, chains, and off they went down they go.
Because this looks like the graffiti, like the old graffiti that you find.
What would that mean?
I don't know, but they're numbers, aren't they? It's something, because look, that's cut stone. So it's something, it was something.
Yeah, I think my theory could be right.
No, I think you probably are right, Phil.
But what's this here? This part on...
What have you found
What
here?
is that? Is that part? Oh, it's just the... Yeah, it's just
the edge of this.
Yeah.
But I think, I mean, could that be original Cromford and High Peak, and these are numbers to do with certain things?
Who knows?
Like, you know, I don't know, a number of chains to a certain destination or whatever.
I do not know.
We don't know. Let's say it is, so we look clever. And there you go, down to the bottom. Again, not very steep, but if you were the horse pulling it up, it'd feel pretty steep, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but I guess the horses never were tasked with pulling loaded wagons up here. I believe the only time the horses went down was if there was no counterbalance trucks available and 2 had to come up or go down. There was nothing available to do the counterbalance. The horses may have been used as like a load bank to act as the trucks, if you like.
So you load the horses into the wagons and they get a little ride down?
No, they would have just walked in place of the empty wagons.
Oh, got ya. Oh, okay. I wasn't actually being facetious then. I thought with the counterbalancing, it needed to balance out with loaded trucks. So I actually thought they were going to load the horses into the wagons. They were going to get like a free ride. Ignore me. We're halfway down the incline, and Phil's looked, and there might be a culvert, we're thinking. I can't imagine that they would replace the culvert unless it's, you know, blown out or whatever over the years. So this could be an original. I've just stung myself. This could be an original 1832 culvert. Let's have a look. Right, it is original. I was hoping for a massive arch, and it isn't one, but it's original, so I'll take it, stinged shin and all. Now there are some pictures of this incline, and we're hoping, Phil, because they are a bit of a bugbear for you, aren't they? These cobbles, because they look original, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, there were 2 tracks, so I'm thinking, are they the remains of, was there a trough all the way down where the chains ran in, or was the trough underground? Not, well, you know, under the surface.
Yeah.
So we'll have to have a look at pictures, because it's just bugging me a little bit.
Yeah, because I'm wondering if the track was like that, so this was in the middle, and maybe the chains were running across the stone so that they didn't sort of like dig a hole essentially.
Maybe, or it's just one wall of the trough survived for whatever and the other hasn't. We'll work it out with pictures.
Now Phil said earlier when he got scared by that dog, and I definitely didn't get scared by that dog, that this is the second incident. So should we clarify for the viewer, didn't you get gnashed at by a nasty dog yesterday?
I was looking at some ancient mine remains yesterday, and I was walking back past the former mine building, which is now a guest house, and out of nowhere a dog just flew at us, giving it the dribble, the snailing, lunging, and goodness, my companion just raced off and left me to fend, to do what's got to be done. And luckily the dog didn't go for me. I started making growling noises, and I don't know why, I just had to do something, and eventually after about 20-30 seconds of stalemate, a chap came out and went, "Here boy," shut the door, and that was it. No, thanks a lot mate. I
would love to have seen that. Like, I shouldn't laugh because
I will laugh after.
But yeah, just you barking at a dog, mate.
Yeah, I know. Not my finest moment, I can tell you that.
Right, I think we've got to the bottom of it.
Was that fun?
Oh, mate, tons of them today. Okay, so this is a view looking down the incline, isn't it? Because the church is here somewhere. Or is that looking up it? I'm thrown now.
I don't know, because it's doing. That's looking up because the houses are there.
Oh, of course it is. That was like almost like a trick. Then that threw me. Okay, so that's looking up. So the chains are in the middle.
Yeah, and it looks like them stones are some sort of to stop the chains digging into the asphalt soil or whatever you want to call it that the track was based on. But that's an interesting picture. Look.
Yeah, so that means, before we move on to horse trading, that means that my theory is...
Yeah, I didn't want to talk about that.
No, I didn't think so. But that's just an artist's impression, so not, what it would look like specifically this one, but yeah. So he's there, like looking like the Grim Reaper, look, whipping them.
They just usually stuck oats in the bag and let them get on with it, didn't they?
Yeah. Self-employed. Now that is looking the other side of a bridge, which we're about to get to, and you can see the incline going off up there, yeah.
So they obviously didn't fancy double track, so they scrimped it and made the two lines into one.
Yeah, don't blame them, to be fair. Okay, so we'll get across. Now, I don't know if the car's original, but you can see through there. There's some embedded rail again, mate. Plenty of remains, and what's amazing, for me anyway, is just how this is in the middle of Whaley Bridge. Like literally right in the centre, so you'd have had trains coming right down. Because these buildings are old as well. Now there's a mill there as well. Goit Mill. 1865. So how long's that been gone? Because that's quite a new housing estate.
Yeah, I think it's within 10 or 15 years.
Oh, really?
I don't know when it knocked down. There's an information board there, it might tell you.
Oh, it means crossing the road. Oh, now there was a siding that came off and into here. Let's have a look. Oh, mate, what an epic looking mill. Right, so this is where we're exactly here. So it's gone off into this mill, which is now this housing estate. We're going to follow it down. You got print works as well. Mate, there's loads going off here. Embedded rail, Phil.
Yep.
Beautiful.
Quite an old celebration at finding it compared to your usual ones.
Oh yeah, well, I was shouting mate all the time, am I? It annoys people. This was built by the Butterley Company, wasn't it?
Yep, you're absolutely correct, yeah. Usually have a plate on them, don't they?
Yeah, the Butterley Company. In Butterley, basically Ripley. Unfortunately it's all wasteland now. The last thing they built there was the Spinnaker Tower, which is in Portsmouth. Another sad industrial demise, of which there are many. So we've got a car park, but there's a lot going off. We've got the unloading area where the wagons were unloading onto the canal, and I'm pretty sure the left door is open, so that's a result. But it's a bit weird in terms of what happened here. It's quite confusing.
Yeah, it is a bit, because you just presume that this line came and spanned into God knows how many, and then a couple of them did into the transshipment warehouse. But actually, the left-hand archway, which we'll see in a minute, a line came out there and shot over past the old possibly workers' cottages and went over to the print works, and these lines went straight past the warehouse on the right, and then the goods were backed in to the right hand side one.
The closed one, yeah.
There was a bit of a connecting line that actually joined that line to the print works, so obviously if coal came down here to supply the Goit mill, they could always supply coal to the print works as well and get to the transshipment point. So it was a three-way job really.
Yeah, quite quirky.
That's why it survived a bit later in life than the rest of the line.
Right, well let's go and have a look. because as I say, I'm pretty sure the left side of it's open, although the temperature's dropped massively now. And this is the exchange point. So the line we've been following comes in here. I'm not going to go in because there's people sat having their cup of coffee and whatever, but you can see the track bed there, and that's where it's passed over into the canal, Phil.
Yeah, shipment point, mate. When the canal was built, and then they had the railage changed, they wanted to keep all the cargo dry, so they built the warehouse on top of the canal.
Makes sense, because the canal came in late 1700s, wasn't it? And this has come along, an Act of Parliament in 1825, as we said, but that there says 1832 when this building's been built. Well, we'll go and have a look around the other side now as well. So before we look at the canal, that's where one line came out and down that road, basically. So, yeah. you'd had track in the road, wouldn't you?
Yeah, and we're in the middle of the road.
Right. Well, should we go and see what we can find down there first before we come back and have a look at the canal itself? Phil, mate, Phil. So that's where we were, just looking inside the door there, mate.
So yeah, there you go. If any doubts on this, there you go.
There it is. So they've just put obviously asphalt over it, and it's going off into the print works. That is incredible. Phil, how long do you reckon that's been there? Incredible, really. The track is just back there, so it's coming down the road. But I suppose roads and rails kind of shared, didn't they, in those days? Yeah. There's cobbles underneath there, so the rail must be here somewhere. Now, that's what was the print works. Looking amazing. You're thinking, is this an original bridge? I mean, it's an iron girder.
Yeah, I think it's original. It's a girder.
Yeah?
Yes, yeah, I'd say so.
Oh, mate, amazing. Let me try and see if I can get around here and get a better view. But this is all obviously original. This is all, you know, the print works. So the track would have gone across. I'm wondering, is there going to be some embedded rail here, Phil? I might be being greedy here. There's something sticking out, but it would have gone across and into here. And through there, probably. But it's all asphalted over, yeah, you can't see. That's annoying. I was being greedy, to be fair. So let's just have a look at the other side of this bridge. It looked original when looking down at that, but it's hard to tell. And then we'll go and have a look at the wharf, and that'll be us. I've loved it. Yeah, that's definitely original. Oh, mate, I'd have loved to have lived at a time when trains were just flying about left, right and centre. I'm not sure I'd want to have young kids like I have now at that time, in terms of health and safety, but I nearly fell over then anyway. And that's natural, it nearly took me out. Okay, so before we get back to the canal, there's actually another remain. Sorry, I'm sending you left, right and centre. We looked at this and we were sort of, well, you said you thought it might be the stable block, and I think you're right. And a clue for that is the fact that there's an old horse trough right there, adopted by the WI. But once upon a time, the horses, you think probably from the canal rather than the railway?
Yeah, because although if you think about it, the horses would have come down here with the odd truck of coal to take into the print works, and also horses would have been coming. They were just like a meeting point for all the horses to catch up, have a quick drink. You know, our equivalent to sitting at a bar. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. How's it going? Up and down. How do horses greet each other, do you reckon? Like if they walk into a pub and they see another horse, what do you reckon they'd say? I don't know where this is going, but I'll let you say the gag if it is a joke. Hey? Is that it? Terrible. I thought it was a horse gag up there. I thought it was right. Hey! They eat hay, didn't they? Yeah, but... Now this was all rail. All coming down here, wasn't it, Phil? Yeah, there were only a couple of tracks. One of them went down to that little, what's now a toilet block. Yeah. And then it backed in along this channel here for loading and went in. Well, that door's into that door. Repurposed, or it wasn't like that originally. Yeah. There was a door on the other side, but this side looks slightly different. But it has been redone, hasn't it, over the years? It has. You can see on that information board. Maybe it'll show you. So the boats are going in there, and you know the stuff's coming off. I mean that's really old as well. Look how amazing that looks. That crane, that light's going mad. It's sending me trippy. And then off. Now there is an information board just over here. Oh, there it is. As I keep saying, it's one of the really cool things about this Cromford and High Peak line. All the way down, actually, all the way to Cromford and all the way up here.
say 33 miles across the peaks. There's loads of these boards with information and pictures, and if they don't have the pictures because of the sheer age of it, then it's artist's impression, isn't it? So that's coming down here.
So we've got that right.
I mean,
just go down there, look, doesn't it?
Is that wool? Or is that limestone, do you reckon?
I don't think it was wool.
No, limestone. So limestone's coming down here, and so it's loading here. Now if you look at that building, it looks absolutely nothing like this one, but it said sometime in 1915 or 16 they've taken that whole top floor off. They got rid of the arch as well.
Yeah, and put a lintel there, haven't they? So, you know, it's hard to say how accurate this is, because I presume that one of this line that ran alongside the wharf would have maybe have gone in. But we only saw a track on the other side, didn't we? So maybe it didn't enter the building here. They just did all the loading here.
Yeah. Amazing piece of history, nonetheless. So that's us. Thank you so much for watching. We followed the Cromford and High Peak from Shallcross all the way down into Whaley Bridge. Like I keep saying, I've loved it. Loads of remains, amazing history, very important in terms of our industrial heritage. And episode number 200. Thanks, Phil.
Yeah, nice landmark and a pleasant walk. We didn't get drowned in rain or get struck by bad weather, so it was fine.
No, we got scared by a dog, but that's fine. But thank you so much for watching, and because we've reached 200, thank you so much for everyone that's come out on a stomp with me. Obviously you, Phil, you've been out for so many right now, mate. It's amazing. We've done so many together. When you contacted me, little did I know that we'd end up travelling all over the country. I've loved it. Also Andy, Jake, Nikita, Jono, my mate in Scotland, my mate Turlo, my dad, my brother, Steve, Vinny, Steve Picker, Let's Explore as well, has come out on Explores with us. It's been great, mate. Paul, the wobbly runner. Oh, mate, and we're actually at the bench, I think, where you were sat. As well, weren't you? Yeah.
It looked familiar.
Who could forget Paul? If you want to watch videos on the Cromford and High Peak Railway, the Wobbly Runner channel is the place to go. You guys have done the entirety of it, haven't you?
Yeah, and I've still got footache from it.
Yeah. So definitely worth a subscribe if you don't already. I'm sure you probably do. But like I say, thanks for watching, and we'll see you for another 200, mate.
See you again.